My name's Harry Smith. I'm 85 years old and I first came to Benidorm in 1964. There was no airport at Alicante then, so it was a couple of hours bus riding to get to the hotel. And the hotel was the Casa Blanca, which is the White House. And it was all waiter service. And the first time we went for the meal, we looked at the menu. What's this horse's duvet? And the waiter come up, hors d'oeuvre. What's that? Oh, horses do. Oh, we'll have some horses duvet. So every day, what we having for horses duvet? So that's it. And the meals were okay, but the dining room was. They used to open it, the curtains and the windows, and it was on the front. And the women used to come with little babies begging for food through the window, and the waiters used to chase them off. That was our hotel, and next to it, from what I can remember, there was to the left, going away from the old town, there were all buildings, cranes, and all the hotels starting to be built. And to the left towards the old town, from what I remember, there was just a little orphanage where there was always little children there. And then the next one was into the old town. And there were just a few bars there. We used to go into one where all the hippies went. They used to play the guitars and sit on the floor and sing, and that was it. And then to go to a nightclub, it was a taxi ride way out of Benidorm. I've got no idea where it was. It was all just shrubland. There was Mediterranean was there, which was at the back of our hotel. Our room was facing onto the Mediterranean. And then after that, it was a few little buildings and then scrubland. And then way in the distance was the bull ring. And that was a taxi ride up to the bull ring as well. And we went to the bull ring. We were right in the sun. They came on the first fight, and even the Spaniards were booing him. He couldn't kill the bull. They were throwing stuff at him. And after we saw that, come on, we went. Just thought it was vile, you know. The way the lancers came in, stabbed the bull, and then they were sticking them things. It's horrible. So we packed it up. Out we came. There were 7 of us. How I came to go with them, I didn't know these guys who I went with until a few weeks before, because I was at Bewdley, at the Bewdley Jazz Club, and a chap come in with his girl, and he said, "Oh, I know you. You're going to Star and Garter." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Can we sit with you?" I said, "Yeah." So he sat with me and this girl I was with. And then he said, "Do you fancy going to Paris?" I said, "When?" He said, "In a month's time." He says, "We've got one more place. We've got a minibus." I said, "I don't mind. Who is it?" He said, "All the lads in the bar." Well, I was in the lounge. I said, "I'll come and have a look." So I went and saw them, got introduced to them all. "Do you want to come?" "Yeah." So I went with them to Paris in a minibus. And from then on, started going on our holidays abroad with them. And I went to Mallorca, then I went to Benidorm, and that's when I got to 1964 Benidorm. But it was expensive. You know, they say, "Oh, it was only £30 or whatever," but you were only earning £10 a week or £7 a week, something like that, you know. So it was more or less equivalent to now. Well, the next time we came to Benidorm was with my wife, Janet. That was 1969. And I said, "Oh, there's not much there. It'll be a bit really quiet and leisurely." So he gets here, and I think, where are we? And they take us. We were staying in the old town in a hotel, and the hotel we'd booked, for some reason we couldn't stay there. They took us to a different one, which was farther inland to the old town. A smaller hotel, but it was all the people who we were with, who were supposed to be in the other hotel. They were all with us, and we were in the bar having a chat and that, and they all said, "Oh, you're on your honeymoon." We said, No, we got married last year. This is our first holiday." And there was this hairdresser and his wife, and he said he got so many shops in Liverpool, hairdresser shops, and he really fancied Jan. And Jan says, "You know, it's about 11 o'clock, oh, I'm going up to bed, I'm tired." So she went to bed, I stayed down, and apparently he'd gone up knocking on our door. Jan told me next morning, knocking on our door to see if she was all right. I said, "Oh, I know what he wanted. He wanted to see if I was all right." So, and he said, "Any time you're in Liverpool, come and visit us, you know." He's always round us all the time. The food was no good. We had to go into the old town to Susan Hampshire's bar, the film star. She'd got a bar there. and we used to go there and just have bacon sandwiches. Most days for the couple of weeks we were there, that was it. They'd built round the Poniente and this way, so it was all. So we spent most of our time around the old town and the Poniente, because there were still buildings going on as well, still, but it was entirely different. It was from when we came before. It went from a village into a city. I can't remember much what we did. We'd never had any nice food then. At the breakfast, all you get was like a tub of butter and a cheese or a piece of ham or something like that. No selection of anything. And the orange juice was like watery stuff, you know, no good at all. The tea and the coffee was horrible, so we didn't have that either. It would be, say, 25 years later when my brother Charlie and Anne and his couple of his friends said, we're going to Benidorm. You fancy coming? So I said, oh yeah, we've been to Benidorm for years. So we came with them. And once again, we were just completely lost. We got no idea where we were. And we stayed at the, I think it was the Presidente, I'm not sure. And we always used to go up to the Wooky Hollow too, because it was a karaoke bar. And we used to spend all our nights in there. But before we went up there, we went into a little bar called the Duty Free. We had bottles of San Miguel for 50 cents, and that used to be absolutely packed, because anywhere else it was like 75 cents. But he used to sell that much, there was that many people he could afford to sell it at 50 cents, because everybody was in there, ram jam full, you know, all the time. Because that's all he sold, was bottles of San Miguel, 50 cents. And it was only about this wide, probably twice as long as this. And they used to go in there. And then after we got in there, we used to get the Wooky Hollow, do some karaoke. Then we used to get to walk around the different bars, see what it was like having a drink in this bar, down that bar. That's how we used to do it, just travel around the bars. And then we started coming pretty regular again after that. Came with our Charlies again and his friends. They stayed at some studios at the back, and we stayed at the Castilla, which was on the Yellow Brick Road. That was a nice hotel, very quiet. The food was okay there. And after that, we just started coming different hotels, different years, different hotels, and that ever since. Everything was getting better, yeah. The food, the entertainment, everything was getting really good, yeah. We went up to the Benidorm Palace about the fourth time we got back here, which was expensive. Really good, but if you've been once, that's it, you know, you don't want to go again. And after that, we just used to go around the bars and see the tribute acts and that. All down the karaoke bars and singing. And you can be posh, you can be poor, you can go and have a good time, you can have a quiet time, there's lots of places. And you can also get on the tram and go to Denia or Alicante and along the beach for miles and miles, fantastic beach. So you've got everything you want, really. If you come to Benidorm, you sit on the front on a bench and somebody sits by you, you start talking to them, within 10 minutes they're your best mates. You know everything about you and you know everything about them. We're coming in March when the COVID struck, so we were cancelled out. And we haven't been since then. And now we've come back this year. There's a lot of places different. We thought we'd go around to our old haunts. When we got there, they closed down or they changed to a different type of establishment. But overall, it seems pretty much the same. Lots of people here, lots of people parading up and down. Everybody seemed to have a good time and everybody enjoying themselves. So it's still good. The Boulevard's gone, Jack and Jill's gone, piano bar's gone. Before, when it was singing bars, you had to be a singer because they'd come round and say, what song do you want to sing? And you'd tell them, they'd say, what key do you sing in? So you got to know what you were doing, you know. If you just said, I want to sing up a Cloppy Mountain or something, they say, what key do you sing in? You say, I've got no idea. You'd say, well, sing a few lines and I'll know what key you're singing. And that's how they used to go. There was no karaoke. Well, there was karaoke bars, but we never used to go to them. We just go to the singing bars. Because there was gangs, like a London gang had come at a certain time, and then there'd be a Rampton gang or a Liverpool gang, all singers, and they all used to meet and go to the different singing bars. But they hadn't used to tell each other where they were going, because they wanted singing time, and if there were too many of them, they could only sing one song. But if there weren't many in, you could sing 3 songs. And if there was nobody in, no singers, you could sing as long as you wanted, which is what they wanted to do. So they wouldn't tell each other where they were going. And then if you'd say to one of them, "Where are you going tonight?" "Don't get telling them, but we're at so and so." "Don't be telling them, lot." "Okay." And then you get the bar, and if they'd found out and they come and then they give you a look as if to say, have you told them we're here, you know? And sometimes if there's no singers at all, it was just the woman there who used to run it used to sing. And she'd say, "Come on, let's have some singers, let's have some singers." Nobody can get up. Oh, these are the best beaches by far, and the cleanest, and the streets are the cleanest. The people come outside the shops and they're always sweeping, just anything they see sweeping away. It's really clean. That's what I like about Benidorm. The old town's just the same as it was. The only thing I would say, there was a bar, it's still there, La Bumba Bar, down one of the alleys. And it's only a small place, it's probably like as big as this. And the man who had it was a Liverpudlian. And when we got to know him, we used to go and he was always telling jokes. And he got a son who obviously was Spanish because he lived here. And he said, the reason I came to Spain, I came out of the army, I went back to Liverpool. It was devastating for all the bombing. And I thought, this is no life. He said, so I decided, a friend of mine had fought in the Spanish Civil War, and he said, why don't we go to Spain? I said, never thought of that. So we saved some money, we came to Spain, we came to Benidorm. I bought this little bar, and I've been here ever since. And he said, the only time I move is in the summer when it's hot, and then we go up into the mountains to get cool. Stay in the mountains for a couple of weeks, come back again. Gets too hot again, we go back up in the mountains for a couple of weeks. And then he died and his son ran it. And it never changed. It was little narrow seats, as hard as rock, that you sat on. I went down the other day, when we were down, I saw the sign, La Bumba Bar, so it's still there, but we never went down to have a look, so it's still there. See if his son still runs it. Some people say, oh, it's like Blackpool, but it's nothing like Blackpool, is it? Nothing like Blackpool. And mostly the people who say that are people who've never been. I think it's because of the big buildings and everything, I don't really know. I mean, Jan's friend doesn't like Benidorm. They stayed down the road there at Altea and came in and said, oh, couldn't stay there. Too big, all those big buildings now. You couldn't get better beaches, could you? They're wide and they're golden and they're clean. Yeah. When we were in the Flamingo one year, it was just full of end parties. They were a pain in the... The worst thing about it, they used to sit there at 11:45 and they'd all order a round of drinks, like there'd be 6 or 7 of them. Then at 12 o'clock, the drinks were still there and they say, oh, shall we go over the rock and roll bar? And they just get up and walk out and leave a table full of drinks. And then when the waiter or the waitress came, she'd look at it and you go, and she'd think, English, you know, that all this waste, now it's all got to be tipped away. And in the canteen, they'd get lots of stuff, pile the plates off. Oh, they don't like that, leave it. Go get some, pile the plates. Instead of trying a little and seeing if they liked it, then get some more, they would pile the plates up and just leave it. And the waiters didn't like that either. These days I prefer the Spanish end. It's more relaxing, quieter, not so many shouting and bawling up when they get a few drinks down them.